Quite a day at the White House as we've tried to sort out these movements here. And Michael Waltz is out, according to everything we've learned, as the National Security Advisor. But then moments ago, President Trump announced that he will be nominating Waltz to serve as UN ambassador. Quote, from his time in uniform on the battlefield, in Congress, and as my national security advisor, Mike Waltz has worked hard to put our nation's interests first. I know he will do the same in his new role. Waltz says that he is, quote, deeply honored to continue his service to the nation. Now, back in March, controversy erupted after journalist Jeffrey Goldberg was added to a secret text chain that Waltz built on the Signal app. Now, the chain included details of military operations against the Houthis in Yemen, and Waltz stepped up and said that he took full responsibility. He took part in the president's cabinet meeting just yesterday.
The last 4 years, the world experienced a total lack of zero leadership under Biden, and then we've had 100 days of your leadership with respect, with strength.
Okay, with that, let's bring in Mark Meadows, who served as President Trump's White House chief of staff during his first administration. Mark, good to see you. Welcome to the program. I'm just curious what was going through your head, having been in these rooms when these kinds of shakeups happen. It looked like there was a firing, and then now it looks like, sort of a changing of some deck chairs. What's your take on all this?
Yeah, Martha, this is more of a realignment than anything else. President Trump has done an incredible job. I give him an A+ for the team that he's put together for his second administration. And obviously, as you have all these personalities and talents brought together, you want to make sure it's the best mix. And I can tell you that the National Security Advisor is a key position. It's one that has direct access to the president, but it also interacts with Secretary of Defense, Secretary of State. And so making sure that those kind of relationships are key, are very good. And so we'll now get to call Mike Waltz, Ambassador Waltz, if he's confirmed by the Senate. But in the interim, Secretary Rubio will be able to help, but that'll be a temporary solution because I'm sure the president will be looking for a replacement for that team right away. But I think the left was overreacting earlier today, and yet what we do see is it's all about having the perfect team to get the president's agenda completed.
So it sounds like you're picking up that there was some friction between some factions within the security advisor team, foreign policy team.
Well, listen, obviously I'm not there any longer in what you have. You just know, I know that Ambassador O'Brien was my national security advisor, and part of that job is managing just a complex team, not only within the West Wing, but the intelligence group altogether. And, as we saw some of the fallout from using Signal as a way to communicate, you're right, Mike Waltz stepped up, accepted responsibility. Bravo for him. But in doing that, I think what happens is that you start to see small conflicts, and I'm not suggesting that is the impetus behind this, but it's all about getting the right personnel in the right job. And Susie Wiles, his chief, is doing an outstanding job, and they've had very little turnover, Martha. One of the interesting things is in the first administration, I think it was about 34% turnover. This is not something to be unexpected, probably is not the last of the realignment that we will see in some of those, but the cabinet stays in force, and I applaud him for getting a great cabinet confirmed by the Senate.
All right. Well, Michael Waltz, it looks like will be coming here to New York. So we hope that we'll see lots of him here, and an interesting move of people. It's just worth noting, I think, that this Houthi operation was very successful. No one was killed as a result of this. And also remembering that after the Afghanistan tragedy, where we lost 13 U.S. service members, nobody was fired or moved to a different job.
Yeah, Martha, and thank you for pointing that out, because this president is real serious about making sure American lives are protected and saved, and yet we see the contrast between two administrations. I would much rather have a little bit of friction in the Trump administration 2.0 than what we saw with the Afghanistan withdrawal. So thanks for pointing that out.
Mark Meadows, thank you very much. See you soon. Thanks, Mark.
Uh-huh.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.